Okay, good evening everybody. Time is about 5:30 in the evening. It's actually still sunny, well, daylight, which is good. We're just outside that 10 Downing Street right now. He's actually stand up to Saudi, stop selling arms to Saudi Arabia, where they people decided to actually welcome the prince from Saudi Arabia. You know, the guy actually said, well, yes, he's allowed women to start driving now, apparently. But it's also what the number of beheadings has apparently increased since he turned up. British supply weapons still shown in Yemen, but no accountability because the foundation is rotten. That's actually the case. Hello, sir. Okay. So, would you like to say a few words, please?
I will later. Let me just go and see Caroline.
Okay.
I'll tell you who to get is Sam down there.
Sam.
Right, long ginger hair. He's the one who broke into BAE and got to the
Oh,
Saudi
yes,
planes.
definitely.
Ginger hair.
Okay. So, Sam! Okay. I'm gonna have to actually see if I can actually get him.
They stay there. They will stay there.
Guys, actually we just had to actually find everybody. Sorry. Anyone who was
the military regime in Egypt, which has killed and arrested thousands of people. The regime countries
Boy, and he's the one who broke into the
That would be Dan, the long ginger hair.
No, okay, Dan. It's supposed to be here.
The historical rights of Palestinians, which are recognized by the international law. We demand and ask for Britain and all countries that exports arms to the Saudi Arabia to stop making further deals with a country that is committing serious crimes in the region. The Security General of the United Nations to establish a rapid mechanism to contain the dangerous threats of the Saudi Arabia against peaceful people and states everywhere in Yemen, in Syria, in Palestine. Hands off Yemen! Hands off Yemen!
Hands off
Yemen! Hands off Yemen! Hands off Yemen! Hands off Yemen!
Next to the stage, I'd like to introduce Kate Osimo, who is Shadow Secretary for International Development.
Thank you so much. Hello everybody. Thank you so much for being here. It's really important. First and foremost, the British government should not be rolling out the red carpet for Mohammed bin Salman. We must think of all of the Yemenis who have been suffering under what has been taking place. Over 22 million people are needing aid and protection in Yemen. We must never ever forget them, and we will not. Without a shadow of a doubt, Saudi Arabia appears to be breaching international law. Last year, the UN blacklisted the Saudi coalition for killing and injuring 683 children, young children. We mustn't forget about those children. They have been attacking hospitals and schools. The Saudi coalition is using starvation as a weapon of war and is still blocking ports. This is absolutely shameful, and we must never ever forget that people are going without food and going without water. Theresa May should be using this visit to tell the Saudi prince to lift the blockade and get food, fuel and aid in to save people's lives. If she... Hands off Yemen! That's right, brother, you keep telling them. This UK government should not be selling arms to Saudi Arabia, providing military. Open up access so those people can get aid, can get water, and it is an absolute disgrace, and it is a total stain on our society that the government is allowing this to happen to the Yemenis. Brother, come on, let's shout together. Yemen! Hands off Yemen! Hands off human rights, social justice at the heart of our humanitarian and foreign policy, and that is what the Labour Party are going to be doing when we get into number 10. We are on Hands Off Yemen. We are currently on the wrong side of history, and it is absolutely shameful. And this is something that we will continue to talk about. This is something we will not we will never stop talking about, because the people in Yemen need us. And without a shadow of a doubt, I know the people here and the people outside are together with us. So brother, let's tell them again. Hands off Yemen! 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 Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Kate. Hands off Yemen! 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 Stop the killing now! We are a cross-party campaign, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce Amelia Womack, who's Deputy Leader of the Green Party.
Hello everyone, it's great to be with you here today, standing against the royal visit of Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Britain is well and truly rolling out the red carpet for him this week. Not just meeting the Prime Minister, but meeting the royal family too. Yet the record of the Saudi regime and Prince Mohammed himself and his role has made it clear that the trappings of this visit are wrong. Not too long ago, I stood with you on this spot against the state visit of Donald Trump. But the case against the Saudi royal trip is even stronger, and let me tell you why. Firstly, do we want to be peacemakers or warmongers? If we choose peace, we can't be a marketplace for weapons. We must demand an end to the arms sales to all repressive regimes, not just Saudi Arabia. The Crown Prince is a war criminal, and the UK is complicit in those crimes. Yet last year, the UK sold over £1 billion worth of arms, of military kit, to Saudi Arabia.
Hands off Yemen!
Hands off Yemen!
Hands off Yemen!
Hands off Yemen!
To a country that targets civilians, to target hospitals. Make no mistake, the UK has blood on its hands. And the newspapers have been complicit in the whitewashing of the Saudi regime too. Adverts to welcome the Prince appeared in The Guardian, The Financial Times, The Times, and across the city. This man is blockading aid to Yemen, allowing people to starve. This is a man who is a serial human rights abuser. Life inside Saudi Arabia is brutal, with floggings and executions commonplace, an elected government a distant dream. The pro-Saudi ads are a disgrace, and those running the ads should be ashamed of themselves. And lastly, let me say this. Britain's place in the world must not be dictated by our weapons industry. Britain's place in the world must not be dictated by our nuclear arsenal. And Britain's place in the world must not be dictated by our colonial past. Our government's obsessions with the weapons industry is leading us to spend £205 billion on renewing Trident. We host the biggest arms fair in the world, right here in London. We need to stop arms exports. We need to stop the industry of violence. And we need to fuel Britain with a truly 21st century industrial policy instead, which turns jobs making arms into employment of the future. British diplomacy shouldn't compromise on human rights, nor should it bend the will of arms manufacturers. At this most crucial time, Britain should send a signal to the world. We will not roll out the red carpet for dangerous men who refuse to comply with the minimum standards of decency towards their fellow human beings. That means no Trump. It means no Prince Mohammed. It means no compromise. Thank you.
Hands off Yemen!
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 Okay, guys.
Hands off